Tell me, too, about the Remain in Mexico policy, which has been reinstated here, because I think Australian viewers here will be very interested because, of course, we've had our own issues with people trying to come in and land and make their own asylum claims. This is saying you cannot come in and make your asylum claim and then just be released willy-nilly. Am I correct about that?
Exactly. And immediately after Trump came into office, he signed a flurry of executive orders to ensure that catch and release and these other policies that have led to migrant crime in this country, that have led to that. So in the now new administration, what we're seeing is immediately migrants who cross the southern border illegally from Mexico are presented to Border Patrol. They are processed. They are immediately turned back to Mexico. There's no more you can claim asylum. There's no more you have a fear of returning to your home country. You're out. The same goes with Remain in Mexico, a little bit different because Remain in Mexico would allow these migrants access to the asylum system. However, if they're awaiting their years-long court date in the United States, they're going to have to do that in Mexico in a shelter there. So there's a big difference. And the biggest is that communities here in the United States will not see these large droves of migrants, albeit, yes, they are still reeling from the impact of the last 4 years of the Biden administration and them letting in migrants by the millions.
Yeah, and just on those cities, too. I mean, the border czar Tom Homan, and boy, how tough is he, revealed earlier this week that some of this mass deportation has already begun. We actually played a little bit of footage from that, and here's a little bit of what he had to say.
No, it started. ICE teams are out there as of today. We gave them the direction to prioritize public safety threats that we're looking for. So we've been working up the target list. There was some discussion about Chicago because the specific operational plan was released. So we had to look at and reevaluate, does this raise officer safety concerns? And it does. But we've addressed that, and teams are all effective today.
Now, some of the footage out of some of these cities is quite incredible with some of these raids and the real serious crimes that they've picked people up for. But how is this going to go once some of these sanctuary cities start their legal challenges? Because you know that one of these cities is going to say, no, you're not allowed to do this here. It sounds almost like we're going to have a standoff between the feds and the states. It's almost a constitutional crisis in the making.
Well, so it works, one way. And the one way it works is that ICE can do whatever it wants in these sanctuary cities in reality. But the local officials are hamstrung by their local leadership in communicating with ICE. Hey, we have these illegal migrant criminals in our jail. They're about to be released. Come and get them, please. So it works that one way. So ICE is still going into those communities. And that's something Tom Homan has been very outspoken about is we will wait outside the jails. We will go to these homes of these individuals. Yes, it will make it actually worse for sanctuary cities and their intentions of providing sanctuary to illegal immigrants, because if we go into a home of someone that we're targeting specifically, a criminal, and we find that they're living with a few other illegal immigrants, we're going to take them into custody too, which is what happened in those initial ICE raids in Boston that the Trump administration has already carried out in the first couple of days. I mean, they've made hundreds of arrests, and of course, that's only a drop in the bucket. But sanctuaries are not holding them back. They're conducting these operations in sanctuary cities. And at the same time, the Department of Justice has now instructed U.S. attorneys to look at possibly prosecuting sanctuary leaders who, in their words, obstruct ICE from making these arrests and conducting operations.
Jennie Taer, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. As always,